Hello and welcome to the Spirit Safe. My name's Rob. Thank you very much for joining me for another malt whisky review. This week we have the BenRiach Speyside Single Malt Scotch Whisky, aged 12 years, matured in sherry wood. This is actually quite a good illustration of how to choose whisky that has had no shortcuts built into it. So some words on this bottle and tube were the things that made me see that I was getting the real deal. So I will read out those important things. It says matured in sherry wood. In this price range, just under £40 I believe. Anything with sherry, the word sherry on the label, it can have just been given a sherry overcoat, so spent the last 6 months, and that's called finished in sherry cask. But this says matured in sherry wood, so it's gone the full 12 years in sherry wood, all of it. It says that it has been matured in Oloroso and Pedro Jimenez sherry butts, so not just casks that have been treated or impregnated with sherry, actual ex-sherry butts from Jerez in Spain. It is a natural colour, and it is a very nice colour, and it is non-chill filtered and bottled at 46%. So all of those, I wouldn't normally go into so much detail, but all of those little details on the packaging made me see that I was getting something that actually no corners have been cut in its production. So the labels, sometimes there's a lot of bollocks written on whiskey labels, or water comes from this well or from this loch, makes no difference. But key things like matured in sherry casks, age statements, non-chill filtration, the ABV, they can't lie about these things, and yeah, a lot of it is very, very important. Okay, so it's quite a nice deep colour. The bottle isn't the most fashionable. BenRiach don't have a particularly strong brand, and that's another reason that I bought this, because, you know, in order to sell whisky, they've not got a Macallan name or a Dalmore name. In order to sell whisky, they have to do it absolutely right. This is actually lightly peated, and I think it's very lightly peated. A bit like the Highland Park Dark Origins, heavily sherried and lightly peated, and it is a bit like that, but it's less of a brute than the Highland Park Dark Origins. Okay, I will give it a teaspoonful of water because that helps it along quite a bit. Quite a way through this bottle now. I've been enjoying it very much. Taste the rainbow. The first thing, it's going to sound very odd, so many fruity notes in there. It was like a packet of Skittles that had gone damp in somebody's pocket, released all of those aromas. Lots and lots of confectionery notes here. You know, in candies you might have the red sweets and the purple sweets, lots of the deep fruits of the forest. You do get the sherry in a big way, and it's stereo sherry as well, so it's Pedro Jimenez and Oloroso sherry. So I call that stereo sherry. Bit weird. And there is just the hint of peat that adds a bit of savoury to the proceedings. Rhubarb, candied apple, but just a full aroma, lots and lots of sherry in there. And even for the price, there's a possibility that there is a hint of first fill sherry in this. Yeah, very good. This is the real deal. Fruity, mouth-watering, powerful sherry all the way through. You can tell it's not an overcoat. You can tell it's the cask involvement is there. There's a good deal of cinnamon, something slightly vegetal on the finish, but it's a quality spirit made in quality casks. Yeah, really, really very good. Very easy to overlook this because it's got kind of 2005 type packaging, whereas other sherry monsters like the Dalmore, it's got bang up to date packaging. I think BenRiach are just allowing the product to speak for itself. So much sherry. Sherry, sherry and more sherry. Oh. Dried fruits, fresh dark fruits, a full flavour. It's not quite as syrupy as some of the older sherry monsters that I've had. But for the price, this is absolutely superb. Anybody who should buy this? Anybody looking for a genuine sherried whiskey for not too much money. It's easy to fall into the trap of buying sherry finished whiskies. They can often be much more visible because the distilleries want to sell them. They make so much more money from them. So knowing what to look for has served me quite well in this case. Other expressions from BenRiach, I'm not sure I've encountered any of the other ones. I'm not sure I would buy the peated one because peated Speysides don't really float my boat. But I know there's a 15-year-old sherry finish. Of all the slagging off of sherry finish whiskies I've done, I know there is a sherry finish 15-year-old which I would try rather than buy outright. It's not giving off the same positive messages as this 12-year-old sherry matured whiskey is. All in all, I'm really enjoying it. It's an excellent quality product for absolutely the right price. Okay, thank you very much everybody. Stay tuned. Might not be here next week because I think I've got to run off to Toronto on business, but otherwise stay tuned. I really appreciate all the comments and likes on my videos. Glad everybody is enjoying it. Cheers everybody. Bye bye.